In this video, we're going to look at all the indices for M7. There's two objectives. If you're revising, there's two bits to pause the video on here, and then one more down here. So you have to commit these to memory. I'm not going to reteach them all, but I'll just refresh your memory here about the rules. And the first one is when multiplying. When multiplying here, you have to add the powers, but you'll only do that there if your base numbers are the same. So for example, we're multiplying here, our base numbers is 3 and 3, so the base numbers are the same. So in that case, you can add the powers 3 and 5 to give you 8, and that simplifies it. Our base number stays the same, it doesn't change. Number 2, when we're dividing, we subtract the powers. Again, if the base numbers are the same. So we've got A there all the time. That stays as A. Here 3, our base number stays as 3. We're dividing, which means we actually subtract the powers. 3 take away 5 is minus 2. Okay, more unfamiliar. If you've got, when you're raising a power to a power, so maybe quite often when you're raising a power to a power, you see the first base and power in a bracket, and then that bracket has been raised to another power. That's how I would describe that. Then we've got a to the power of m raised to the power of n. When they're together like that there, you would multiply the powers. So for example, if you've got 5 to the power of 4, and then that number is raised to the power of 3, you can multiply together the powers. And again, your base number is staying the same, it doesn't change. Okay, number 4, special case. If you've got a to the power of 1, we just would normally write that as a. So you might have the number 5, and that means 5 to the power of 1. Normally we don't want to have that power in there, but sometimes when you're doing indices work, it might be useful to write it in that way. And then if you've got any number to the power of 0, that is 1. For example, 4 to the power of 0 equals 1. Any number to the power of 0 is 1. Now 0 to the power of 0, that's a whole different, you could write a thesis on that and go to university. Look into that if you want to. For GCSE, by the way, 0 to the power of 0 would be 0. Number 6, a to the power of minus m equals 1 over a to the m. So when a number is raised to a negative power, you write it as 1 over the number to the positive power. So you'll see here, this number is raised to a negative power. So you write the thing as if there wasn't a negative there, but you put 1 over to deal with that, and that's equivalent. So for example, if you had 6 to the power of minus 2, get rid of that negative and put 1 over 6 to the 2. And then quite often this can be calculated if it's not algebra. In this case, we know 6 squared is 36, so you could write that as 1 over 36. All these examples here, first of all, are algebraic. So the first one, the bases are the same. We're multiplying, which means we can add those powers together. So that would be c to the power of 6 plus 2, or c to the power of 8. The second one, b, we've got the bases are the same. And when the bases are the same, if we're dividing, we can subtract the powers. So 12, take away 4, which is 8, d to the power of 8. Here, we're raising a power to another power, and the rule there is that you would multiply them, the powers. So that's equivalent to n to the power of 10. Now here you might say, look, can I just write c to the power of 8? And yeah, that's absolutely fine. But there would be times here, see when you've got lots of negatives like d and e, I wouldn't be running just to get to the answer. I think it's very good practice to try and write out what that calculation actually is. So if our bases are the same, and we are multiplying, we're going to add those powers together. So that's like having p to the power of minus 3 plus the minus 5. Think about probably non-calculator here. If we're adding -5, what does that mean? That's like having -3 and taking away 5. If you have -3 and you take off another 5, you've got p to the -8. People very often go from here to here and they might get the answer 2 or all sorts of different things because they don't take enough time. So please write out at least that calculation to get it right. Okay, part E, we've got lots of negatives here too. The bases are the same. If we're dividing, which a fraction is a division, so we're dividing here. What we do is we take away the powers, so we take away that -2. So it's -8, take away -2. And if we take away a negative, that means we're doing -8 plus 2. If you take away a negative, it means you're adding. And -8, if you go up 2, brings you to -6. So that is r to the -6. And then F, a little bit different than this one here. Same rule applies. I'll just show you 2 different ways. Because the power is quite low, I can show you this in another way. Remember, if you square something, you're timesing it by itself. So we've got the 5x cubed times by the 5x cubed. We know 5 5s are 25. So we can just reorder this. This is all a multiplication. So we can reorder that. X cubed times x cubed. Well, that's when the bases are the same. If we multiply, we add the powers. So that's x to the 6. If you think about the question and the answer, you might be able to see a comparison there. And you can just square what's in the brackets. So we can square the 5 to get 25, and then x cubed, if you square that, you're raising a power to a power, so you're timesing the powers, and you get that. Be very careful, however, that is just one, I suppose that's one term being squared. It's not having a term plus another term squared. So if that was 5 plus x cubed, and you squared it, that would be a totally different ball game. You could not be doing this here. You'd be best using this method. Expanding double brackets actually would be what you'd be doing there. So be very careful when you can and cannot apply that rule. It's only one term. You can think of that as one big number, I suppose, being squared, and then you break it down. Okay, G. Like the last one, when you've got these, a term times another term, you can break it down and think that's 6 times x cubed, that's 7 times x to the 5. So you can reorder the multiplications and think that's 6 times 7 times x cubed times x to the 5. I know 6 sevens, I can do that. That's 42. And then here, my bases are the same, and we're multiplying these 2 terms together, which means we add those powers. 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, H, there's quite a bit to do here. I'm going to look at the top first of all. So I'm going to reorder the top to be 10 times 12 times y to the 4 times y to the 5. I'm dividing that by 8y cubed. So 10 times 12 I can do is 120. By the way, there's multiple ways you can do this question. Maybe better than the way I'm doing it now, but I'm just trying to give you a clear technique which you can use. As you get more skilled, you can maybe go about it in a better way. Y to the 4 times y to the 5, the bases are the same. We're multiplying, so we can add those powers to give y to the 9. I'd just like to get that one calculation out of the way, the multiplication, and now we can do the division. And we can do 120 divided by 8, which is 15. And then y to the 9 divided by y to the 3. Bases are the same, we're dividing, so you subtract the powers. Y to the 6. So in a sense, I'm thinking of that as one calculation, 120 divided by 8, and then I'm thinking as this one here as another calculation. Do the same thing in I. So reorder it. 4 times 8. I'll bring the x's together, x squared and x to the 4. And then the y's, that y's got no power. Earlier I said sometimes it's good to have one. I'll put a 1 there because that's what its power would be. Okay, on the top, 4 eighths I can do is 32. X squared times x to the 4. Bases are the same, we're multiplying, so we add the powers. X to the 6. And then we've got y to the power of 1 times y cubed. Bases are the same, we're multiplying, so we add those powers and we get y to the 4. And the bottom stays as it is. Now 32 divided by 6 is a fractional answer. It's the same as 16 over 3. 16 thirds. Sorry, I should have maybe got that first one. I was trying to do 32 divided by 6. That's the same as 16 thirds. It's a nicer way to leave it. X to the 6 divided by x to the 3. We subtract the powers there, so we get x cubed. And y to the 4 divided by y squared gives us y to the 4 minus 2, which is y to the 2. Maybe your final answer may be best to write that as 5 and well, I don't know if I like 5 and a third overlay, depends on the context. It might even be nicer to leave it as 16x cubed y squared over 3 even. One of those two. Mixed number is probably not appropriate in this context or useful. Okay, we're going to look at the rules again. Now we did that with algebra, it's probably harder. We're now going to try it with just numbers. And actually, the big difference is, I didn't read it, which is important actually. The word simplify, that's what I was doing in all of those cases. I was just trying to write it in the simplest way possible. I couldn't actually work out the values because there were no values. In these questions, we have to evaluate. So we'll have to find the value of, so we're trying to get an actual answer, not just simplified. So we shouldn't really have powers in our answers. It should just be a number or a fraction. So in the first one, remember the rule, when we've got any number to the power of 0, it's just 1. In the second one, the rule is when you see a negative power, you get rid of it. You just write it without the negative power, but you have to remember to do 1 over it instead. And then 4 cubed, you can work out is 64. Part C, I'll probably, lots of ways again to do this, but I'll work out the top, I'll work out the bottom, and then see where we can go from there. The top, the bases, okay, it's like an evaluate question. Sometimes you rush into actually trying to work out answers, and I wouldn't be doing that. I try and use the index rules as much as possible. So bases are the same, we're multiplying, so we can add those powers to say the top is 3 to the power of 9. Here, 3 to the 6 times 3, bases are the same, so we can add the powers. That would be 6 plus, remember that power is 1, so that would be 3 to the power of 7. It would be very hard to work out 3 to the power of 9 and 3 to the power of 7 and then divide them, but we can use our index rule here. We're actually dividing. The 3's are the bases, they're the same, so we can subtract the powers to get 3 squared. 9 take away 7 is 2. 3 squared is 3 3's, which is 9. And then part D, here we've got a power and we're raising it to another power. So the rule here is that you'd multiply those powers. It does no harm to write these things out to get your brain thinking of it in the right way, because there's a lot going on here. You're trying to remember raising a power to a power. Here, you're just focusing on what's the calculation. Minus 2 times minus 3, I know that's 6. So the answer to this calculation is 6, and then I can put it here. Don't try and do too much in your head. That's probably the biggest mistake people make.